I'm Sean Williams. This is my calculus project. I went to Chichester Skate Park and I asked my man Albert Wilson to hop down a flight of steps for me. And in my project I'm going to determine what his speed was 1/16 of a second after he left the staircase and what his velocity is when he actually hits the ground. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do in my project is try to determine what his velocity is 1/16 of a second into his descent towards the pavement.
Calculus.
So velocity is just the first derivative of the position function, which is this. So we wind up with -32t as his velocity function. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug 1/16 in as the time to determine his velocity is 16th of a second in. So you wind up with this equation. And now I solve the equation. Out with -2. So his velocity is -2 feet per second at 16th of a second in. Part 2 of my project, I am going to determine what his velocity is when he actually hits the ground. So what I do there, the first step is to find what his time is when he strikes the ground. So I take the position function and set it equal to 0, as in 0 feet off the ground, and I solve for time. This, and subtract divide -16 from both sides. You enter that in, -3 divided by -16. 0.1875 equals t squared, and then take the square root of both sides. So you wind up with t equals .433. And now what I do is I plug that number into the first derivative of the position function, which is the velocity function. So what you wind up with is -32 times 0.433. And you solve that. You wind up with -13.856 meters, not meters, feet per second when he hits the ground.
Calculus. Calculus. Calculus.